Blessings, blessings, humans all over the world. Do not call this a comeback. I've been here for years, but I'm so sick and tired of seeing so many black kid tears. Don't think I can't do it. Don't think I can't do it if I didn't want to. Don't think I can't spit when I feel like doing shit. But let's stay on the subject and the matter at hand. The matter at hand is the boo-boo that we do. The nonsense and the self-sabotaging by us people, black folk. Now, for all of you who want to say, oh, coach is all, no, 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 no. Remember how I always say, be a plow, not the hoe, because the hoe move more and we don't need no more hoes. Let's quit this stupid, ridiculous, self-hating behavior that keeps us in a position where we're always dormant and allowing somebody else to profit off of us and being the people who watch everybody else rise as we get programmed to hate and despise. Think about this. Think about what I'm really trying to say. I love my brown folk from all over the world. But while we have ESL, English as a second language, why don't we have SSL, Spanish as a second language? Because our great, lovely brown people speaking 3 and 4 languages, black people, and we're still struggling with one. Who's getting ready to be whose servant? Who's getting ready to be out-negotiated for jobs? If someone knows more and reads more and speaks more, they're more qualified. Be aware of what is happening, black folk. Diversity, inclusion, and equity. We can call it DEI. Let me just pronounce it and say it the right way. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Black people, right now we're watching white supremacists decide to remove that. Once again, protections that have elevated us and allow us to get and gain equal footing. But some of the responsibility goes with us black people because we know when we get in rooms, instead of being the best damn thing in the room, we want to make sure don't nobody else black get in. I can't tell you how many times in Madison I watch people get a position where they should be supporting and cohorting. They get those positions and they disappear. Call their name they don't want to hear. Run in that corner straight out of fear. That white man won't give you any more flowers when you have no power. Come on, black folk. Wake up, black men. Clean up, black men. And then stand up, black men. The most targeted member of the human species is black women. And our queens mean so many things. Our queens should receive flower rings every day in every way. I don't give a darn what nobody say. We should be elevating where and whence we came from. But black men, the majority of us, especially in Madison, have been craven cowards when it comes to black women. Now, I don't hate on any other human, no other woman. There's beauty in every woman. And I have to love every other ethnicity because you all came out of us. But the number one question that I hear Madisonian black men ask is, where are the white women? You don't say, why are our children continually failing? You don't say, why it's so easy to take the dignity of a black woman. You don't ask yourself, why do we call white women lady and we never act like a black woman is a lady? Every time you turn around, when we describe a white woman, she may even be a Karen, we say that white lady. But we, in many cases, not in all cases, I elevate and celebrate real black men who know who they are. But so many of us think the way we can talk to black women as hoe, thought, itch, all these horrible names. Let's start supporting our queens again. And if you don't marry our queens, that's an entirely different thing, but we still must support our queens, even though I must admit, I don't understand why 70% of brothers who play pro sports and get generational life-changing money so much that your grandchildren are born rich, all of a sudden, you become colorblind. Now, loving who you love is your business and nobody else's. I have nothing to do with it, and I'm not interested in who you marry. But I have to ask you, is it preference or is it obsession? Is it self-loathing or self-education? Are we educated? Are we indoctrinated? Because we, for some reason, feel like when we get wealthy and get to the point where we don't have to worry about as much some of the core stressors in our life, money, all of a sudden we don't want to link up with any black women. I have to ask that question. Just need to know, and I got to put it out there because once again, everybody else can say it, but we don't get mad until a black man say it. The Angry Black Man Show. Be the plow, not the hoe. Of the hoes, we need no more. I want to ask you again, black people, why is it so hard for us to protect our youngins in schools? Why is it so easy for white supremacy to tell you that they are solely focused on single black mothers with children? They love saying that. Single black mothers with children. If you love single black mothers with children so much, why aren't we educating them? Because you can't make a ton of money on a grant as you use the trauma-induced title, single black moms with kids, and yet every 10 years another report comes out that says how epically we are failing all of our youth. So if we're failing a black woman in the 8th grade, what do we think we're going to have at 18? A single black woman with kids. And I'm talking about us black people as well. I'm not talking about systemic and systematic, entrenched, horrific white supremacy and racism, which I fight with every day. But part of that systemic, entrenched, systematic, horrific, oppressive white supremacy is the capitulation of black morons and our behavior as we accept it in order for our personal gain. I hear so many black men in this town talk about Madison has treated me incredibly well, but Madison is not increasing us incredibly well. And if we're not fighting for the rights of all, we have dropped the ball. What did Malcolm X say about oppression? Finish it off. Pain is pain. Hurt is hurt. And black people, if we don't stand up, we're going to stay deep in this dirt, 10 toes down. Keep your head up. Be proud. Be the black men that children can look at. Black men in schools, how many of you have I seen come into a building in a position that you were granted by white supremacy when you were not qualified and didn't have the moral decency to do that job, and all you did was talk to black kids about how many black men you shot and how many ends you killed, and you wish somebody would, and you wish a this and that would, when you were the only this and that we talking about. I'm so sick of hearing black men in school talk about, I wish a N-word would, last night I had to cap an N-word. First of all, pimping, we know this. And I want to say this one time and everybody to hear. A fool talks. A coward never speaks, but a wise person listens. And you phony black men in these school buildings, all you do is talk. You talk about black kids when you take them on BSU trips. You talk about black women in the building as you act like a puppet for white supremacy. You go to Bonefish Grill and talk about how sorry black women and black families are and how black women always have their hand out. All the while you're handing out turkeys given to you by a pro player, a pro athlete that you're passing out, but you act like the turkeys are yours. Meanwhile, you're talking about everybody black in the building, and when we look up, you've got another position from white supremacy. I remember seeing you, white black coward, every time you left a meeting with some BSU kids, you would talk about how gay they were, you would talk about how hood they were, you would talk about how ghetto they were. Guess what? Before you took them on a trip, didn't you know some of them were gay? Didn't you know some of them were from the streets? Didn't you know some of them lived in ghettoized communities? So is it up to you to talk about them and invalidate them and clown them behind their backs? Is it up to you to be saying the most horrific sexualized comments to black girls and still get away with it? And I've told 3 principals in a row about this, and they still don't do anything because you are a capitulating, compliant coward that watches the destruction of your race. while you start your coon chase. And all of you black people who are so uncomfortable when I speak the truth. Once again, I'm Josh Gibson. You can be Babe Ruth. I have to hit it out the park. And if you're afraid to stick up for the dignity of youth, who do they come to when they want to hear the truth? Because they watch us in these school buildings. They watch us in these school buildings when a 400-pound janitor ejected a queer black girl out the building, and he got a promotion. And when the black coward principal said to her, "It's okay," this young queer black girl looked at him and said, "Ain't nothing going to happen because he's white." And guess what? 2021, ain't a damn thing happened because that man is white. This is where we still are because we don't fight. We are sitting here celebrating and hiding the fact that they are trying to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we ain't causing a ruckus. We don't cause a ruckus when we see what's happening in Gaza. We don't cause a ruckus when we see Asian hatred. We don't cause a ruckus when we see Jewish hatred. We don't cause a ruckus when we see Islamophobia. And we definitely don't fight white supremacy when it destroys us, because we are so happy being the only Negro in the room that we can sign each and every one of the rest of us to doom. I'm so sick of hearing black men talk about their historians. If you were a true historian, black man, learning what you know about the ancient, the incredible culture you come from, the richest, the resilient, the brilliance of your culture and of your ancestors, you wouldn't be so much of a coward. You would be inflamed with the strength to fight for yourself. You would be walking with the dignity, and you would no longer swing from that bigotry. We must continue to fight for our youth, for our culture, because black culture, the ancient culture, think about what Stevie Wonder said. When Stevie Wonder said people of the sun, he was talking about us. Every ethnic group has come from us. Not the sub-Saharan woman that somebody wanted to call Lucy or something. We are much, much older than that. We are ancient beyond ancient. We have done things that white supremacy would never, never, never want us to know about and want you to know about. Sometimes go to Without History on YouTube. Sometimes listen to the incredible Mark Lamont Hill. Think about what T.I. said. When you live for the applause, you die by the criticism. And Mr. T.I., if I paraphrase that wrong, I apologize, but y'all know what he means. Black men, this is my Christmas gift to you. And if you don't like what I say, oh, boo-hoo. And if you hate me for saying it, know that I love you and I always will. But when it comes to fighting for black children, I won't stand still. I got to keep it on point. Pass me the joint. I'm not going to choke. I'm going to stand up and be that one that, oh yeah, he spoke. I can't be walking around in this city watching things happen every day, every week to black kids, and parents are too busy getting flowers and giving away power. Parents are too busy hating on black men when they say it, because part of this title was for you too, black family. Because when a black man says something real, what's the first thing we do, black family? We say, that end crazy. But white supremacy could say something crazy and stupid, and you would say, yes, master. But when a black man or black woman says anything brilliant, we attack them for being brilliant, because we can't really accept the fact that we are brilliant people because we have been so brainwashed, and a lot of that is up to us. Think about that movie when Boys in the Hood, and I think that black kid in class called another kid an African booty sniffer or scratcher, and everybody black started laughing about that, not understanding what the point of that being brought back up, and that's why that kid got slapped. 25 years later, you could still go in a classroom in a primarily black class and say that, and every black kid would laugh again. And you know why? Because we haven't done our work in educating our youth. We haven't, because quiet as it kept, our black youth hate themselves because we haven't taught them to love themselves. We may want to argue about it, we may want to fight it, but it's the truth. Let's write it, because if we're constantly killing each other and talking about each other, What do you think our youth going to think about themselves? If we constantly allow our children to watch housewives throw drinks on each other with Korean hair and my complexion, but you got makeup on to make you look whiter than the whitest clay, or you on Love and Hip Hop, whatever iteration it is, and all you can do is fight another man. When you're working for somebody that owns a company and making all the money, and all you do is get paid to fight other black people. We've done that before. We can't do that no more. Let's stand up as real people and even a score. And when we uplift our culture, we uplift it more and more. When we uplift black culture, it lifts every black culture. I've lost many friends by being a dignified black man. But see, I'm not trying to be one. My ancestors made me this way. I can't help it. You can only be your true, authentic self. And black men out there who don't want to mess with me now, I miss you. Black women right out there who think I'm too problematic, I miss you. Black family, I miss you because we don't stand for each other. And you guys stay away from me because of funding in this nonprofit complex that we all live in. I have one of the most respected nonprofits, the Mellow Hood Foundation, and if you listen and you care, please support, because 99% of the money that I get bequeathed and I'm blessed to receive, it goes right back in the streets and these youth are in college. But the reason I'm so funded so disproportionately less than others is because I'm a truth teller, but I have to tell the truth because our people aren't getting anywhere by lying to each other and ourselves. And true transformative white funders, ask yourself why you never want to hear the truth when a black man say it or an angry black man. Because if we can't tell you the truth, are you really trying to transform something? Black men, there should be no black children having to fight in basements of buildings while we bet on them. There should not be any children that graduate high school 19, full of strength, full of speed, but full of self-hatred because they can't read. There should not be any black girls who have to make sex decisions in the 9th grade because they don't have any place to sleep. So they put on the most revealing jeans, stand on a bus stop long after buses run with their butt out in the street because they have to get something to eat. We should not be allowing that. We should not be living in a world where there are any homeless kids. We shouldn't be living in a world that dark-complected, transgender people disappear and no one says a word. We should not be living in a world where there can be divisions of what gay matters. If you're going to say gay, you say it every day, and you say it in every way, but also say it for everybody. If you're going to say brown power, be brown power, but be a brown power, and don't go in the house when they shower. Stick up for black people. If you say you love the truth, don't get mad at people when they speak it, because if I talk about Islamophobia and peace to Gaza, it doesn't mean I'm anti-Semitic when I come from Kemetic. It does not mean I hate when I talk about love. You don't have the right to say that if you don't know me. When I talk about Madison is afraid of straight black men, don't you dare say I hate queer people because you don't know anything about me and how I fight and support. Madison, we have much, much work to do in a world where we're shown every day they're trying to take us away, our power, our dignity, and everything about us. But all we want to do is honor resilient black kids who should not have to be resilient. All we want to do is invalidate and mimic black girls when they walk into a school. And you black man are talking about their weave in front of white teachers who are giggling. And white teachers, many of you are incredible teachers, but many more you are nothing but phony racists because you see incredible things happen to black kids, horrific things happen to black kids that you would not allow anywhere near that type of oppression and suffering to happen to your children. But you show up at funerals crying like you care. It's no longer acceptable, white teachers, for you to talk about it in quiet rooms about what horrible black people are doing to dignified black people. Speak up and talk about it or shut up about it. Because if you are not fighting white supremacy, then you are a white supremacist. If you're not fighting racial indignities, then you're a racist. We don't need you acting like you care when it's performance art time. We need you caring so that you act when they need you all the time. This is my Christmas gift to you, Madison, especially black men. This is entitled The Boo Boo that we do. And black folk, we have to cut out our ish so we can continue to grow. And once again, if you hate what I say, I love you even more. Peace and love. When a black man say it, listen. It's the Angry Black Man Show. And Angry Black Men speak. Listen, hear, think without fear. I'm so sick of seeing so many black kids' tears. Kwanzaa, Christmas, peace and love. Everybody out there, let's uplift. Let's bridge the rift. And let's not forget about those who are suffering that have no voices. Let's be the voice for the voiceless. Let's be the dignity for those swinging from the tree. Let's make sure that this is the land of the free and the home of the brave, and no longer the land of bigotry and the home of the still slave. I love you, America.